Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you're checking into a small roadside motel. It's late. Very late. The kind of late where the roads are empty and the only light comes from a flickering neon sign above the reception desk. The man behind the counter doesn't smile. He just slides a key across the desk without a word. Room 14. You take the key. You walk down the narrow corridor. The carpet beneath your feet is old, worn thin by years of footsteps. You reach room 14. You unlock the door. And something feels off. You can't explain it. The room looks perfectly normal. A bed, a lamp, a window with the curtains already drawn. You tell yourself you're tired. That tiredness plays tricks. You set down your bag. You sit on the edge of the bed. And that's when you notice it. On the nightstand, a glass of water, already filled. You didn't fill it. The room was supposed to be empty. You stare at it for a long moment. Then you tell yourself the cleaning staff must have left it. A courtesy, nothing more. You change your clothes. You turn off the lamp. You lie down in the darkness. And somewhere between waking and sleeping, you hear it. Breathing. Slow, steady, rhythmic. Not your own, coming from the corner of the room. The corner where the shadows are deepest, where the light from the parking lot outside doesn't reach. You don't move. You can't move. You tell yourself it's the ventilation system. Old buildings make strange sounds, old pipes, old walls, old everything. But the breathing doesn't stop. And slowly, very slowly, it gets closer. In the morning, when the cleaning staff opened the door, the room was empty. Your car was still in the parking lot. Your bag was still on the floor. Your shoes were still by the bed. But you were gone. And the glass of water on the nightstand was empty, as if someone had finished it before they left. Sweet dreams. There is a time of night that feels different from all the others. Not midnight. Not 2 a.m. 3 a.m. Some people call it the dead hour, the hour when the world is at its quietest, when most living things are deep in sleep, when the boundary between what we understand and what we don't is said to be at its thinnest. Most people sleep through it without ever knowing, but some people don't. Sarah didn't. She was lying awake in her apartment. The city outside was silent, the kind of silence that feels heavy, pressed against the windows like something waiting. Her phone lit up on the nightstand. 3:07 a.m. Unknown number. She almost ignored it. She should have ignored it. But something made her answer. She pressed the phone to her ear. Silence. Then breathing, just like hers, just as quiet. "Hello?" she said. And a voice answered. Her own voice. Exact. Perfect. Unmistakable. "Don't get up. Don't turn on the light. Don't look at the window." Sarah's hand was shaking so hard she nearly dropped the phone. "Who is this?" she whispered. "You already know," her own voice said quietly. "You've been hearing me for years. In the back of your mind. In the moment before you fall asleep. That small voice that tells you something is wrong. That's me. And I only call when it's important." Sarah couldn't breathe. "What do you want?" she managed. "I want you to listen very carefully. There is someone in your apartment right now. They have been there since before you came home. Do not make a sound. Do not move. Just wait. And when I tell you to run, run." The police report that followed described a man found hiding in the storage space above Sarah's bathroom ceiling. He had been there for 7 hours. They never identified the number that called her. The phone record showed only one thing. The call had come from her own number, from her own phone, the phone that had been in her hand the entire time. Sleep well tonight, and if your phone lights up at 3 a.m., let it ring.
Moving into a new home is supposed to feel like a fresh start. New walls, new rooms, new beginnings. That's what Daniel told himself when he moved into the house at the end of Harlow Street. It was a quiet neighborhood, the kind where the trees are tall and old, where the streetlights buzz faintly at night, where every house looks almost exactly like the one beside it. Almost. The house next door was dark. Not just at night, always. Every window covered, every curtain drawn tight. No car in the driveway, no sound coming from inside. Daniel assumed it was empty. He assumed correctly. At least, that's what he was told. On his third night, he was sitting by his window. The street outside was still. And then he saw her, an old woman, standing on the porch of the dark house next door, perfectly still, facing his window. He couldn't see her face clearly in the darkness, but he could see that she was watching. He waved. She didn't move. He closed the curtain. In the morning, he asked his neighbor across the street about the house next door. The woman went pale. "That house has been empty for 11 years, she said, since Mrs. Albright passed away." Daniel described the old woman he had seen. The neighbor's hand tightened around her coffee mug. "That sounds like her," she said quietly. "That sounds exactly like her." Daniel laughed it off. He went home. He told himself old neighborhoods have stories. Stories grow in the dark. People imagine things. That night, he sat by his window again. The porch next door was empty. He let out a long breath. Then his phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number. 3 words. "Stop watching me." He looked up from his phone, and the old woman was standing in his front yard now, 6 feet from his window, facing him directly. And this time, he could see her face. And what frightened him most wasn't that she was there. It was that she was smiling, as if she had been waiting 11 years for someone to finally notice her. Daniel moved out the next morning. The house next door is still empty. The curtains are still drawn. But sometimes, very late at night, when the street is completely still, the neighbors say they can see a light moving behind the curtains. Just one room, moving slowly from window to window, as if someone is looking for something, or someone. Good night, and whatever you do, don't look out your window tonight. Leave a comment if this story scared you, hit the like button, and subscribe to Night Horror Talk for more horror stories. Sweet dreams, if you can sleep tonight. Sleep carefully.